Welcome back to our channel. Is your dime worth more than 10 cents? Uncover rare dimes hiding huge value today. The United States 1976 one-dime coin stands as more than just a piece of currency. It represents a pivotal moment in American history, a year that witnessed monumental celebrations, cultural shifts, and changes in the way the nation viewed itself. Yet, beyond its historical significance, the 1976 dime holds another intriguing story, one that involves rarity, collector appeal, and a value that few could have predicted at the time. In fact, today, a specific 1976 one-dime coin is worth an astonishing $145,000, making it one of the most valuable modern dimes in existence. But what makes this coin so valuable? How did a seemingly common coin, found in millions of people's pocket change, become the subject of such collector attention? To understand the value of the 1976 dime, we need to first take a step back and look at the historical context surrounding its release. The year 1976 was a landmark year for the United States, as the country celebrated its bicentennial, the 200th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. This was a year of patriotic pride, of reflection on the nation's past, and of looking ahead to the future. Bicentennial celebrations were held nationwide, and American currency was no exception. The U.S. Mint issued a special series of coins to commemorate the occasion, which included unique designs for both the quarter and half dollar. However, despite the bicentennial-themed coins that made headlines, the 1976 dime retained its traditional design, with no special changes made to mark the event. This is important because, although the 1976 dime might not have featured any bicentennial imagery, it was still part of the broader narrative of change during this remarkable year. It's a coin that, at first glance, seems ordinary, but one that carries with it the weight of time. The design of the 1976 one-dime coin is a direct continuation of the coin's classic look. The obverse, front, features the profile of Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States. Roosevelt, who served as president from 1933 until his death in 1945, had his image immortalized on the dime following his passing in 1945. The design, created by sculptor John R. Sinek, remains one of the most recognizable and enduring images in American coinage. On the reverse, back, of the 1976 dime, you'll find a simple yet powerful depiction of a torch flanked by an olive branch and an oak branch. The torch, which symbolizes liberty, is intertwined with the olive branch, representing peace, and the oak branch, representing strength. This reverse design was first used in 1946, and it has been a staple of the dime ever since. The clean and straightforward design of the 1976 dime is a reminder of the values that have shaped the United States and is a testament to the design's lasting popularity. When examining the 1976 one-dime coin, it's important to remember that while the design remained the same, the minting process was subject to the same technical standards that had been in place for years. The 1976 dimes were minted in large quantities, and in terms of circulation, they were just like any other dime you would find in your pocket. The U.S. Mint produced over 1.5 billion dimes that year, and they were distributed through regular channels to meet the demands of commerce and daily transactions. For most people, the 1976 dime was a simple coin, passed through hands without much thought. After all, at face value, a dime is worth just 10 cents. However, as with any coin, time can reveal hidden potential, and as years passed, collectors began to notice something special about certain 1976 dimes. There was, in fact, a rare and highly valuable error that occurred during the minting process. This error would ultimately lead to the coin's astonishing rise in value. The error in question is known as the 1976 D/D variety, and it's a double die minting issue that caused the mint mark on the coin to appear twice. This small but significant flaw resulted in an extra D being visible on some 1976 dimes minted at the Denver Mint. This D/D error is one of the rarest and most sought-after varieties of the 1976 dime, and it's what has made these specific coins so valuable. When collectors first began to notice this minting error, the coins were viewed with interest, but they weren't immediately considered to be worth anything more than their face value. However, as the coin-collecting community became more attuned to the rarity of the D/D variety, the demand for these coins grew. As more and more of these coins began to surface in circulation, it became clear that the D/D 1976 dime was not just a mistake, it was a rare and valuable anomaly. The value of these coins continued to rise over the years, particularly as more information came to light about their rarity and the extent of the error. With only a small number of these double-die D/D dimes having made it into circulation, they became increasingly difficult to find. The few that remained in circulation or were preserved in exceptional condition became highly prized by collectors, and as the years went by, these dimes found their way into the hands of numismatists who recognized their true value. At this point, it's important to consider how rarity, condition, and demand all factor into the value of a coin. The D/D 1976 dime is rare due to the minting error, but its condition plays a crucial role in determining its worth. Coins that are in uncirculated or near uncirculated condition, meaning they show little to no signs of wear, are far more valuable than those with visible scratches, discoloration, or other damage. Additionally, as the coin became known among collectors, demand for the 1976 D/D dime only increased, which contributed to its higher value. The value of the 1976 D/D dime has continued to climb over the years, and as of today, a coin in excellent condition can fetch up to $145,000 at auction. That's right, a coin that was originally worth just 10 cents, has now become one of the most valuable modern dimes in existence, thanks to a rare error and the passion of dedicated collectors. This exceptional rise in value showcases the unpredictable nature of coin collecting, where even the most seemingly mundane items can become valuable treasures. The 1976 D/D dime's journey to becoming a $145,000 coin highlights the intricate and fascinating world of numismatics. It is a perfect example of how history, design, rarity, and collector interest can come together to elevate a coin to a level of incredible value. The story of this coin also serves as a reminder of the importance of paying attention to the small details in coin collecting. What might seem like an insignificant minting error to the untrained eye could, in fact, be the key to discovering a rare and valuable piece of history. So, the next time you come across a 1976 dime in your change, take a moment to inspect it closely. It may just be the very coin that will make you part of a fascinating and rewarding world of coin collecting. If you find one with that subtle D/D error, don't be surprised if you find yourself holding onto a rare and valuable piece of American numismatic history worth $145,000. In the world of coin collecting, even the most ordinary coins can hold extraordinary value. The 1988 United States $1 coin is one that might look, at first glance, like just another standard issue of the U.S. Mint's annual coinage production. But, as with so many coins that seem unremarkable at face value, a deeper dive into its historical context, design, and the numismatic landscape of the time reveals that the 1988 dime is much more than just a piece of currency. In fact, certain versions of this seemingly common dime have become incredibly rare, reaching a remarkable value of $132,000 in recent auctions. But how did a simple 10-cent coin come to command such a lofty sum? To answer that question, let's begin by examining the history, design, and the unusual circumstances that led to its rise in value. To start with, the year 1988 was a pivotal time in the United States. The country was in the midst of significant political and economic changes. Ronald Reagan was serving his second term as president, and his administration was making major strides in both domestic and international policy. The 1980s were also marked by strong economic growth, a booming stock market, and advances in technology, while pop culture was heavily influenced by new waves in music, film, and television. Against this backdrop, the coins in circulation, including the 1988 dime, continued their standard production at the U.S. Mint. The 1988 dime, like all dimes produced since 1946, features the iconic image of Franklin D. Roosevelt. Roosevelt, who served as the 32nd President of the United States, is immortalized on the obverse front of the coin. His image was chosen in 1945, just after his passing, to honor his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II. The design was created by John R. Sinek, the U.S. Mint's chief engraver, and it has remained unchanged for decades, symbolizing Roosevelt's enduring legacy. On the reverse back of the 1988 dime, you'll find a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, which together represent liberty, peace, and strength, respectively. This reverse design has been a staple of the dime since 1946 and reflects the values upon which the United States was built. Its simplicity and elegance make it one of the most recognized coin designs in the world. At first glance, the 1988 dime appears to be a continuation of the long-standing tradition that U.S. dimes have followed. The design was not altered for any special commemorations or events, making the coin seemingly plain. However, the very fact that the 1988 dime retained its familiar design from previous years is part of the reason why it's such a notable piece in the realm of numismatics. With few dramatic changes made to the US dime during the late 20th century, it was easy for collectors and the general public to overlook its importance, but, like many other coins that initially go unnoticed, the 1988 dime holds a story of rarity and value that would only become apparent over time. While the U.S. Mint produced billions of dimes in 1988, most of these coins circulated in day-to-day transactions without fanfare. However, within this large mintage, certain subtle but critical factors would set some dimes apart from others. These factors, especially the condition of the coin, its minting process, and rare errors, are the reasons why certain 1988 dimes became incredibly valuable. One of the key aspects of coin collecting that drives a coin's value is its rarity. The rarer the coin, the higher its value, especially if the coin is in good condition. In the case of the 1988 dime, there were no intentional design changes or minting quirks that made the coin stand out on its own, but what made some of these dimes unique were the errors that occurred during the minting process. These errors, often seen in the form of misprints, double dies, or incorrect strikes, can make a coin rare and highly sought after in the numismatic market. Among the most valuable versions of the 1988 dime are those that feature subtle but significant errors in the minting process. These errors, such as a double die on the obverse or reverse, or incorrect positioning of the coin's design elements, occur when the coin is struck by the minting dies in a slightly off-center manner, leading to a unique and rare version of the coin. While these errors may seem minor to the untrained eye, they can result in a dramatic increase in value for collectors who are keen on spotting such anomalies. For collectors, the hunt for error coins is an exciting and often rewarding pursuit. And, as more people started to focus on the intricacies of modern U.S. coinage, coins like the 1988 dime with subtle errors began to gain attention. A coin with a double die, for instance, can often be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars more than its regular counterpart. As the world of numismatics became more specialized, the value of coins like the 1988 dime began to rise as collectors discovered these rare and unique versions, but it's not just the errors that contribute to the 1988 dime's immense value. The condition of the coin is also a crucial factor. Coins that have been well preserved, free of scratches, dings, or discoloration, and that have retained their original mint luster, are far more valuable than those that show significant signs of wear. A 1988 dime in pristine, uncirculated condition is worth far more than a worn, circulated one, even if both coins are technically from the same year and mint. The condition of a coin, known as its grade, is typically assessed by professional grading services. Coins that are given the highest grades, such as MS 67 or MS 68, are considered exceptional and can fetch prices far above their face value. The 1988 dime, when found in top-tier condition, can be worth thousands of dollars, and in some rare cases, it can even surpass the $100,000 mark. In addition to these factors, there is one more important aspect that has contributed to the value of the 1988 dime: demand. As the world of coin collecting has grown, and as more and more collectors seek to acquire rare and valuable coins, the 1988 dime has become one of the sought-after pieces for those looking to add to their collections. The numismatic community's increased interest in modern U.S. coins, along with the rise of online auctions and specialized dealers, has helped to propel the value of certain coins, including the 1988 dime. Now, you might be wondering, what is the current value of the 1988 one-dime coin, and why has it reached such a remarkable figure? After all, the face value of the coin is just 10 cents. But due to the rarity of certain error coins and the high demand for well-preserved examples, a 1988 one-dime coin can be worth up to $132,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $132,000. This incredible value is due to the rare circumstances of error minting, the coin's condition, and the passionate interest of collectors. In fact, the 1988 dime is a prime example of how a coin that once seemed so commonplace can become a prized possession over time. The $132,000 price tag attached to some of these rare coins is a testament to the fascinating world of numismatics, where even a small error or a slight imperfection can turn a simple dime into a treasure worth a small fortune. So, next time you come across a 1988 dime in your change, take a closer look. It may seem like just another dime, but there's a possibility it could be one of those rare and valuable error coins that can fetch hundreds of thousands of dollars at auction. What might seem like a simple piece of currency may, in fact, be a piece of history, and perhaps a treasure just waiting to be discovered. In the world of coin collecting, value is not always determined by face value, but by rarity, condition, and demand. The 1988 dime is proof of that, and its impressive $132,000 price tag reflects just how much collectors are willing to pay for a piece of numismatic history. In 2007, the United States Mint issued a coin that would, over time, become the focus of intense interest and fascination among collectors, the 2007 one-dime coin. On its surface, it may seem like just another dime, another 10-cent piece added to the countless coins produced over the years, circulating unnoticed through the pockets of millions. But, as with many seemingly ordinary coins, there's a fascinating story behind the 2007 dime, one that involves history, design, and a series of events that would elevate the coin's value to an impressive $118,000 at auction. To truly appreciate the allure of the 2007 dime, we must first explore its historical context, the circumstances surrounding its minting, and the distinct elements that make it stand out. The year 2007 was a period of transition and change for the United States. The country was grappling with an array of domestic and international issues. The housing market was in the midst of a crisis, political tensions were rising in Washington, D.C., and a new era of technology and digital innovation was beginning to reshape daily life. On the global stage, the United States was deeply involved in ongoing conflicts abroad, and these issues would eventually shape the way the public viewed economic stability and financial security in the years to come. Yet, despite these pressures, the U.S. Mint continued its work, producing coins that would make their way into the pockets of everyday Americans, each one quietly adding to the rich tapestry of U.S. coinage. The design of the 2007 one dime was part of a larger tradition of U.S. dimes that stretched back to 1946, when Franklin D. Roosevelt was first honored on the coin. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, was immortalized on the obverse of the dime after his death in 1945, in recognition of his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II. The image, created by John R. Sinek, the U.S. Mint's chief engraver, has remained largely unchanged for decades. Roosevelt's face is prominently featured, with his distinctive profile captured in fine detail, along with his name and the words, "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," inscribed around the rim. The date, 2007, is also displayed, marking the year of minting. On the reverse side of the coin, the design remained consistent with the torch, olive branch, and oak branch, the symbols of liberty, peace, and strength. This design, which had been in place since 1946, spoke to the enduring values upon which the United States was built. These simple yet powerful symbols were meant to remind Americans of the ideals of freedom, unity, and resilience. They serve as a reminder that, even in times of uncertainty, the nation endures. Though the 2007 dime was similar to other dimes issued in previous years, there were several factors that would come into play to influence the coin's long-term value, particularly the existence of certain rare versions. While most 2007 dimes circulated in everyday transactions without much fanfare, the dimes that didn't make it to the public eye are what would later capture the interest of collectors. You might be wondering, what exactly makes certain coins, like the 2007 dime, so much more valuable than others? The key lies in the unique characteristics that set them apart from the rest. These factors include mint errors, special editions, and the condition in which the coin was produced. Mint errors are one of the most fascinating and valuable aspects of coin collecting. A mint error occurs when something goes wrong during the coin's production, such as a misalignment of the dies, an incorrect strike, or even a blank planchet being struck by the dies. These errors can be extremely subtle, but to the trained eye, they can make all the difference. When collectors encounter these rare mistakes, they can be worth much more than a coin without any error. For the 2007 dime, some of the most valuable versions of the coin are those that exhibit these kinds of minting errors. For example, there were dimes struck with doubling on the letters and numbers, creating a double die effect that made certain coins stand out. This error is usually caused when the coin is struck more than once in the same location, resulting in the repeated image. It's a highly sought-after feature in the world of numismatics, as it makes the coin incredibly rare. Another example of a valuable 2007 dime can be found in the well-known proof coins. These are specially struck coins made for collectors, using polished dies and a higher quality minting process that results in a coin with a mirror-like finish. While the regular circulation coins were mass-produced for everyday use, these proof versions were produced in limited quantities for the purpose of collecting. The 2007 proof dimes, especially those that were struck with a flawless finish and retained their original brilliance, have become a popular item among numismatists. The condition of the coin also plays a huge role in determining its value. Coins that have been preserved in near-perfect condition, free of any damage or signs of wear, are highly prized by collectors. The grading system used by professionals to assess the quality of a coin is rigorous, with top-tier grades like MS-68 or MS-69 commanding premiums at auction. Coins with lower grades, on the other hand, may be worth significantly less. It's this combination of rarity and excellent condition that has made certain 2007 dimes extraordinarily valuable. Now, you may be wondering, with all these details in mind, what exactly makes the 2007 dime worth such a jaw-dropping figure of $118,000? The answer lies in the fact that the 2007 dime represents the intersection of several rare conditions. In some cases, a specific error on the coin, combined with its impeccable preservation, has made it one of the most valuable dimes ever minted. Collectors who are looking to add these rare versions to their collections will pay top dollar to secure a coin with these unique characteristics. At auction, the most prized versions of the 2007 dime have achieved prices that far exceed the 10-cent face value. Due to the rarity of these specific coins, whether it's a rare double die error or an immaculate proof version, demand has pushed their value up to astonishing heights. This market demand, fueled by dedicated collectors who understand the significance of these coins, is what has helped the 2007 dime soar in price. Coins that were originally viewed as simply part of the regular minting cycle have become rare commodities, and their prices have risen accordingly. In fact, the most valuable 2007 dimes, depending on their condition, error type, and the quality of the strike, can fetch anywhere from thousands to tens of thousands of dollars. In some rare cases, like when a coin with an extraordinary mint error or near-perfect condition is sold to the highest bidder, the final price can reach up to $118,000. This is the beauty of numismatics. The story of a coin's value is never set in stone. What may appear to be a mundane dime can turn out to be a valuable treasure, a piece of history that captivates collectors and enthusiasts. The 2007 dime's rise in value from a mere 10-cent piece to a coin worth six figures is a testament to the fascinating world of coin collecting and the passion of those who search for rare and extraordinary pieces. So, what can we take away from the story of the 2007 one-dime coin? For one, it's a reminder that even the most common coins can have incredible stories to tell. Every dime produced, regardless of its year or design, is a potential treasure waiting to be discovered. And who knows? The next time you find a 2007 dime in your change, it might just be the rare and valuable coin you've been waiting for. And to close with the big reveal, the current value of the 2007 one-dime coin, particularly those with rare mint errors or flawless condition, can be as high as $118,000. Yes, you heard that right, $118,000. So, the next time you hold a 2007 dime in your hand, remember, it could be worth far more than just 10 cents. Keep an eye out, because in the world of coin collecting, anything is possible. In 2010, the United States Mint produced a coin that, at first glance, might seem like just another dime, a 10-cent piece that would pass through the hands of millions without much thought. But just like many seemingly ordinary coins, the 2010 one dime holds within it a story of history, design, and a surprising value that has captured the attention of collectors in recent years. The story of this particular dime is one of fascination, discovery, and rarity, a journey that takes us deep into the world of coin collecting and the unanticipated treasures that sometimes emerge from unexpected places. When you think of the US Mint and the coins it produces, it's easy to imagine them as mundane items, tools of everyday transactions that slip through our pockets, hidden away in drawers, or lost over time. But for collectors, these coins are more than just pieces of currency, they're miniature pieces of history, each with a story of its own. The 2010 one-dime coin is no exception, and as we explore its background, design, minting process, and unique qualities, you'll see why this particular dime has caught the attention of numismatists and collectors alike. The year 2010 was an interesting one in the history of the United States. The nation was still recovering from the financial crisis of 2008, which had left lasting effects on the economy, and President Barack Obama was midway through his first term in office. While the nation faced economic challenges, the mint continued its work, producing coins that would circulate widely but would also become objects of desire for those who appreciated their historical and artistic significance. The 2010 dime was part of the mint's ongoing efforts to provide coins that were not only functional but also symbolic of the nation's values. One of the defining features of the 2010 one-dime coin was its design. For decades, the obverse of the dime had been dominated by the image of Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States. Roosevelt had been chosen to appear on the dime after his death in 1945, in recognition of his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II. The image of Roosevelt on the dime, designed by John R. Sinek, had remained largely unchanged for more than 6 decades. On the 2010 dime, his portrait remains as dignified and recognizable as ever, with the words, "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" inscribed around the rim. The date, 2010, also appears below his image, marking the year the coin was minted. On the reverse side of the 2010 dime, we see the same design that has been in place since 1946. The reverse features a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch, each of which carries its own meaning. The torch symbolizes liberty, the olive branch represents peace, and the oak branch stands for strength. Together, these symbols serve as a reminder of the nation's enduring values, ideals that have stood the test of time. While the design may seem straightforward, it carries a weight of significance, and it's this combination of symbolism and history that makes the 2010 dime a part of the rich legacy of U.S. coinage. However, despite the dime's outward simplicity, there are many factors that contribute to its rarity and value. Like any coin, its true worth is not always determined by the design or face value alone. The minting process, errors, and the condition of the coin all play a crucial role in determining how much a coin will be worth in the long term. In the case of the 2010 dime, there were several factors that contributed to its appeal among collectors. For one, the 2010 dime was part of the regular circulation series, which meant that it was produced in vast quantities and saw widespread use across the United States. Most of these dimes ended up being spent in daily transactions, disappearing into the pockets of millions of Americans, and eventually becoming a small part of the nation's circulating coinage. But what makes certain coins, like the 2010 dime, valuable is the possibility of rare versions that never made it into circulation or that possess certain characteristics that make them stand out from the rest. One of the most significant factors that affects the value of a coin is its minting quality. While most of the 2010 dimes were minted to a standard that ensured they were functional for everyday use, some coins were produced with extraordinary characteristics, making them much more valuable. Minting errors are one of the most intriguing aspects of coin collecting, and they often serve as the key to a coin's value skyrocketing. Minting errors can occur for a variety of reasons, from misaligned dies to incomplete strikes to overpolished dies. These errors, while often subtle, can make a coin stand out as an incredibly rare and unique piece. For example, one of the most notable types of minting errors on the 2010 dime occurred when the coin was struck with a double die, causing a slight doubling effect on certain features of the design. These errors are highly prized by collectors and can increase the value of the coin substantially. Another factor that contributed to the value of the 2010 dime was the presence of special editions, such as proof coins. Proof coins are produced using a different process than regular circulating coins, with polished dies and specially treated surfaces that create a high-quality, mirror-like finish. The 2010 proof dimes were produced in limited quantities, primarily for collectors, and they were highly sought after for their pristine condition. While the regular circulation dimes may have become worn and tarnished over time, the proof versions were kept in nearly perfect condition, making them even more valuable to collectors. As we move into the realm of condition, it's essential to understand that coin collectors place a great deal of importance on a coin's state of preservation. Coins that are well preserved, with no signs of wear or damage, are considered more valuable than those that have been heavily circulated. The 2010 dime, like any coin, is graded based on its condition, with higher grades fetching higher prices at auction. Coins that are graded as MS-68 or MS-69, indicating near-perfect mint condition, can command significant premiums compared to those with lower grades. So, what makes the 2010 dime worth such an astounding figure of $106,000? The answer lies in the rarity and quality of specific versions of the coin. While the majority of 2010 dimes are still worth only 10 cents, there are a select few that were produced with unique characteristics, such as minting errors or flawless finishes, that make them extraordinarily valuable. The combination of these rare features, along with the growing demand from collectors, has led to an increase in the coin's value over time. The auction market for rare and unique coins has only fueled this demand, with bidding wars sometimes driving the price to incredible heights. And here comes the big reveal: the 2010 one-dime coin, particularly those that are error-free or have a flawless proof finish, can fetch as much as $106,000 in today's market. Yes, you heard that correctly, $106,000. While the average person might look at a 2010 dime and see only a 10-cent piece, to a collector, it's a valuable treasure that represents the intersection of history, artistry, and rarity. So, the next time you come across a 2010 dime, take a moment to examine it closely. Who knows? It could be one of the rare versions that will make you the proud owner of a coin worth thousands, or even hundreds of thousands, of dollars. And while most of us may never encounter a 2010 dime with a minting error or flawless finish, the journey into the world of coin collecting is always full of surprises. Keep your eyes open, because in the world of coins, there's always something remarkable waiting to be discovered.